Today marks exactly 2 months since the devastating flooding across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. As many look to rebuild, some are still waiting for a chance to head back home. The town of Percival, Iowa has been under an evacuation warning for the last 60 days. And it doesn't look like people will go home anytime soon. Phil Bergman talked with them today.
This should not be water, this should be farm fields. 6 miles to the bluff from the river and it's all water that should be farm fields.
You think you'd get used to seeing this by now?
It's just not home. It's a mess. A lot of issues here.
Each time down, it's a town in ruin.
It's a lot of water, there's no doubt.
And struggles that never end.
500-year floods are becoming way apparently too common, so there's got to be changes made.
Phil Peters hasn't been able to come home for the last 60 days. The 86-person town of Percival looks like a watered-down wasteland.
It's not safe. I mean, there's water, there's contamination. 6 miles away from a river to a bluff, you're not what they call a flood zone. It's called an X zone, federally protected, never intended to flood.
So why don't the people of Percival just get up and move? Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple.
I mean, you got all your money tied up in a house, and who's going to buy them? Can't sell them. Nobody wants to go through what we got to go through. I mean, 2 floods, 8 years, that really hinders your market for sale.
Peters is a man of numbers. He says the Corps keeps Gavin's Point Dam filled too high. More water, and Percival takes another pounding.
30 to 40%, I think, is what it was prior to 2004. I think they need to go back to it so they have room, so they don't have to raise the releases as high.
The flooding originally subdued here in Percival, but then BNSF Railroad started rebuilding the tracks, and the water is now trapped in the city. The county's reached out to BNSF to ask them to stop building, but they've now stopped answering their phones.
As I put it to Homeland Security when I called them the other day, I says, my county is like reminds me of an old Western. He says, how's that? I says, the railroad can do anything they please and step on the little guys. They don't care about us.
All the little guys care about is getting back home.
You have to go home. When you can get home, you gotta go home. You gotta go in, fix what you gotta fix to make it home again, and you just gotta live.
Reporting in Percival, Iowa, Phil Bergman, 3 News Now.